Whenever we're doing episodes that's like commenting on stuff that, others are talking about is always the most fun to me because we get to get a little bit juicy.
We say this a lot, that designers and artist houses are like the most fun for us to really dissect because it's such a curated collection. Those are the houses that are the most interesting.
But I think anybody can live beautifully. You don't have to be wealthy. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dear Alice. Today, we've got a fun one for you. But first, I wanted to remind you that the Modern Heirlooms collection is currently out and available. So head over to alicelanehome.com and grab your heirloom piece before you're gone. We're going to be diving into some of the biggest myths in our industry as interior designers. And the last myth is something that we have been asked a million times, and you do not want to miss out on that one. Yeah. So this episode is called Debunking Design Myths. I'm curious to know, have either of you ever had a design myth that you've had to deal with recently? Does anything stand out to you guys?
Myth? I don't know if it's myth as much as people always say, oh, I don't know if I could pull that off. Mm-hmm. I think that's a myth. I'm going to clarify.
I do too.
Define that as a myth.
Yeah.
Because people don't give themselves enough credit. We say that sometimes you do kind of need a designer or someone, a best friend or someone to help show you how cool people are, what your experiences are, how you dress, or, just all those things. I think people don't give themselves enough credit, and you can pull off a lot more than you're giving yourselves credit to or the confidence to.
Yeah.
Because I'm it's so fun when we.
I think a great designer. I think a great designer will pull that out of you.
Yes.
You've got to work with somebody that you really feel like you've seen their work and you trust that they're going to be able to get that out of you. It should still be your story, and there needs to be a real trust, right?
And give you the confidence to do it.
And give you the confidence to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess give you enough vision of the project that you can see it and that you can go, okay, I'm going to trust the process because I want to get there and that's how I want to live. I want my story told by you.
Yep.
Exactly. And I think that is so empowering. So Sue, I think you're right. I don't think you can pull that. I don't think I can pull that off. What if you lived your life that way? I don't think I could pull that off.
You would never be pulling anything off because you wouldn't do it.
You feel smothered by your fears.
But I think a majority of people are like that. I don't think that majority of people take the risk, buy the colorful thing or paint the room the crazy color, just because
wear that hat.
I think, I don't know if it's exhaustion or lack of confidence or just, I don't know what it is. Or just again, enough people telling you how much fun you are and that you deserve to live in that color. I don't know.
Well said.
So
whenever we're doing episodes that's we're commenting on stuff that, others are talking about is always the most fun to me because we get to get a little bit juicy, So before we get into these myths, I'm just going to say to everyone listening, if you, have any interior design myths that you want us to debunk, post them in the comments on our YouTube or Spotify if you're watching there, or send them to dearalice@alicelanehome.com. So
let's make this a series.
Yeah, let's do it.
Love
fun. Okay. Design myth number 1, small rooms should only be painted white.
Lies.
Total lies. False.
Yes.
We should have sound effects next time. So whatever that game is, we need to bring that thing.
Those of you that are listening, we're going to show you some pictures of some small spaces we've done and what color and pattern especially can do for these small rooms. Sue, tell them what they're seeing. Those of them that can't see the screen right now, what are they seeing right now on their screen?
Okay, this is our Desert Oaks project in Odessa, and they had this little pocket behind family room built-ins that they want to make this secret little hidden room. And we're we got to do something really great. So we got this amazing wallpaper that has this tangerine color that we then threw on the baseboard. And it is so much fun when you open up a relatively neutral built-in to go to a very small space that is covered in personality. I'm that's where I would go to eat my dessert.
Yeah, totally.
A million times over, with my best friend, with my sister, with my daughters.
Yeah.
I'm going to say small rooms should never be painted white. That's where I feel you can do it.
Picture the powder bath in your home. being a white box with a white toilet with a white
Chlorophyll.
sink.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Seriously.
this is your pocket square moment to really go for it. Nobody spends a ton of time in these rooms. And so you're really going to want to express yourself and make it somewhere that you want to discover. Imagine that hidden closet room going in there and it just being white. It would feel like that's where you should store your extra Christmas or Legos or something.
Yeah.
But here it's like
Paper
a
towels
whole,
and toilet paper.
it's a whole hidden world now.
No one's spilling any, secrets in just a neutral room. Yeah.
You want to know what's not there yet is like this whole etagere moment behind there to hold all of her little conversation starters.
Love.
That's right.
So fantastic.
So cool.
And like, again, give yourself the opportunity, give yourself credit to like be that fun.
Guarantee that's going to be one of their favorite spaces in their home.
And it's the smallest space in the house.
Mm.
So
good.
it is incredible. And it has bright pink chairs and just a little poker table of a thing. Or mahjong, whatever you want to do in there. I love it. Okay.
Powder baths. Let's talk about it.
Oh my gosh.
We have a few powder baths here. We're going to show you. First one being Tiger Oak.
Yes.
This is a space that has been beloved since 2018.
Gucci herons, guys. The Gucci herons.
The murals just wrapping around. We love a mural.
Larger than life.
We love a mural in a small space. We love it in a big space. But this just really was one of those surprising things, especially.
What if it was neutral?
Especially 7 years ago.
Yeah. Next time we're going to AI these neutral and put them like next to each other.
Before and after. That would be amazing. We absolutely should. Like,
and also here,
try
I want
and
to say
prove their
this.
stupid myth.
Use the wild slab in the small space.
Amen.
Because
That's when you can afford it.
that is when you can
That's
afford
true.
it.
Exotic.
Again,
You go to
it's-
the exotic aisle. That's what you do.
That's what you're doing. So that's what you're seeing here. You're seeing a really cool, almost Zebrano
Yeah.
marble paired with the Gucci herons and the skirted sink, and like all the tricks are done in this small
I was
space.
about to say, I'm like, you can kind of stack heroes on top of heroes in a small
Yes.
space, which is so much fun. And
That
again,
is the
there's
game.
what's the risk? Like if you do, or if you're nervous about doing something, big, do it in a small space and like see how that makes you feel. I guarantee you it'll be your favorite room in the house.
Yep.
And then you'll be ready to really go for it in the other rooms.
I know.
There you go. Get started in your
Okay.
small spaces, really creating environments, and that
Okay.
will give you the courage
I know.
to do more.
Here are a couple other powder bathrooms. We have our one from Lover's Lane, that's like one of our very, very favorites. But again, completely drenched in the sea kelp color. And then again, we have another Gucci heron in green from our Capitol Heights project. So again, larger than life patterns, like deeper than deep colorways, anything but neutral.
Anything but neutral. In
Anything
a small
but
space.
neutral.
Don't do
and-
white and don't go neutral.
And like take it on the ceiling. Wrap
Yeah.
yourself in it like a blanket.
Yes. Pantries. Pantries are small spaces.
I know. And like seriously, what would feel like timeout
Uh-huh.
is now the party. Everyone loves this pantry. This is from our Manchester house and it's all green. The tile's green. We have William Morris up top. Like again, hero on hero on hero, skirted, like that skirted number. Who am I? Nancy Myers? It's so good.
Sure are.
It's so good.
I'd
Also,
hide in here and just reorganize the groceries on the
Oh
shelves
my
because the
gosh.
space is so great.
I would just make drinks all day long.
Me too.
Yes, what syrup
Put
do you
me
want?
in here. Yeah, you just really do feel like a historical moment. And if this were all white, I feel like I wouldn't want to hide in here
I
and
feel
put
like
away
a
the
utility
groceries.
room.
It would.
A back of house.
Yeah,
I don't know. Bourville.
definitely.
But yeah, pantries are small. I'll say most closets are small. I know we do a lot of large, luxurious closets, but this is from our Manchester house. It's a good sized closet, but it's not the biggest. And again, it would have been really easy to go neutral, but the fact that we took everything in this lacquered blue color, like it was it's her favorite space in the whole house. Isn't that funny that the space, I will say, for most people, they'll take risks and go colorful in their children's rooms because they're like, oh, they're kids.
Yeah.
Or they'll do something fun in the basement.
No one's going to judge them.
They'll do something fun in the basement because that's where the teenagers go. And they all migrate to those spaces because they're just like, gosh, we didn't say no. We didn't like put up all the guards.
Yep.
So I'm just like the spaces that you're already considering doing, like throw a color on them. Like they don't have to be neutral and they shouldn't be neutral.
Love that. I think we debunked number one.
did.
here.
No,
Yeah.
okay.
Debunked.
I thought we were done with the podcast. Okay, 2.
Okay, design myth number 2. Everything must match. Yeah.
Yep. No.
Definitely not.
Lies.
Yeah, I think matching it is giving up the opportunity to tell your story, right? We can all buy the matching end tables. We can all buy the matching nightstands with the bed. and the bench that matches at the foot of the bed and the dresser set.
Oh, yeah.
And then you know how the dresser has the mirror that goes over the top in the same oak finish or whatever.
Such an easy decision.
Those were that's what you did back in the old days. I think all of our parents dreamed of having a matching set when they were first married. That would be like the height of sophistication. And today, of course, we're debunking that myth and saying, if you can really infuse the space with individual pieces that make harmony, the symphony is going to be so much greater than everything playing the same note.
Yeah. It's a curation.
Yep. It is a curation.
You know what I mean? Like a museum with like multiple artists and multiple, mediums is so much more interesting than just one flat one.
And the story that you can tell, here right now, if you happen to be watching, this is a home office for a gentleman in our Lover's Lane project. And we've got, it's almost like a French club chair version of a love seat upholstered in this dark orange color. His desk is covered in goat skin that's kind of this yellow tone. He's got a triangular cocktail table loaded up with books, and then a beautiful vintage chair covered in zebra. And this space is such a rock star of a space. And if everything was the same matching orange upholstery in this whole room, it wouldn't be as magical as just seeing the one hot spot, against that cool icy blue room. Mm-hmm. I just love how this space looks. It's really, really fashionable. The next house we have is a dining room. And one of the things we wanted to take away from this is, again, the old school thing that our parents would have loved was just they'd save up for that matching dining set, right? So that they could all entertain, and the chairs match the table, matches the credenza behind or the china hutch. Today, we are not doing that. We're really avoiding it. So in this next image, you're going to see that we've got a dark stain grade table, but we're using dining chairs. And we intentionally chose this white color of paint. And then we did this really beautiful persimmon colored leather on top in a green room. And the contrast and the play and I feel like the rugs. Yeah. And the credenza in this room is, what was that credenza? Was it goat skin in the back?
I think it was goat skin with like a little like brass lining on it.
Yeah. So smart. And I think the contrast between, it feels like the red and the green and the blue, and not having this whole set match just feels like a fashion house in the space. So you don't have to match your dining table to your dining chairs. How about that?
Yep.
Here's another great example of this. This is House of Harrington again. We've got a white lacquered dining table, and then up to it, we've got dark stain grade chairs upholstered in green leather with this really great welt surrounding those oval shapes. And the welt ties in the white table.
Yeah.
It's this sort of connecting piece and this black and white cool check rug underneath. But it just feels young and fresh, where this dining room could feel really, really old, I feel like.
And it was super boring before.
Yeah.
A lot of the table was existing, but we just kind of like gave it all like a fresh take, and it's amazing. Mm-hmm. And again, even the Hermes scarves that are like lining.
Yeah.
The shades on it. Again, it's not like a repeated pattern, but it's, I don't know, it complements, it curates. And I think along with this, we say this a lot, that designers and artists' houses are like the most like fun for us to like really dissect, because it's such a curated collection. Mm-hmm. Like nothing really matches or feels like a formula, because it's been collected over time and over their story and life experiences. And those are the houses that are the most interesting.
I think also because they trust the process, because they're always reaching in their own work to try and get that almost a harmony amongst unexpected players. So I think like this art in the dining room, it's like a jungle scene with elephants and palms and reflective water. And I think some of those green notes hanging on top of the oxblood, wall, it just kind of cooled it down, but made it feel exotic and gave permission to go for the chairs. And there are elements that quote unquote match, but they relate, I should say, but they don't match. So you can create a harmony within, using artwork, using rugs, using accessories. But I think the big players not matching might be the formula that I continue to see in some of these. So if you're looking for a formula, it might just be that.
Yeah. I agree. Agreed.
Okay, design myth number 3. You need overhead lighting to brighten a room.
Nah.
Suzanne Hall's life is proof positive. This.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys, most homes, if you're living in a house, likely you have like cans happening overhead. Most clients we try and like minimize the amount of cans that we have, just because it becomes acne on the ceiling. We go smaller. But you're only turning those on for cleaning. if you like have to clean these like massive houses, right? But you don't have to. You don't have to have all those lights on. You rarely are going to use them, or people are going to accidentally turn them on. It's going to ruin your vibe.
Amen.
100%.
Yep.
So you're going to like, you might have like one overhead light that you're going to have on a dimmer. But most of the time you're going to put on lamps because that's more romantic. And like, just like, it's your vibe, right? And so in the house that we buy, I noticed when I was going through, I was like, 1971 Cowboys, you didn't give a damn. You just like, you completely avoided any, not even one central over the head. Like there's no cans, no over the head. And I love it. When we first moved in, I'm like, oh, should I put in track? What am I going to do here? And then as I've lived in it, I've actually really, really loved just having the dimness. Don't dust my corners. They'll be fine. But like, I don't know. I'm like, I want to debunk that because I do think architects and I think lighting engineers, they put those cans, I swear, every 4 feet.
Yeah.
And it's too close and they're too big. And it just, again, it ruins your vibe. So out at them.
Okay, the design myth number 4, stick to neutrals. They're always safe.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, I mean, they're always,
There's a place for neutrals, of course. Like in most public spaces, we go towards something that's more neutral, but we have to add interest. We have to have interest. Like obviously we're going to probably in these other spaces, your powder room, your dining room, your, these individual offices, we're going to like try and like do something that you really feel. But when you're in a public space with neutrals, you're going to have to do more work with your art, with your window treatments, with your furniture and your rugs. So don't think that like you've pushed the easy button because actually you have to do a lot more work in a neutral space to make it interesting. Yeah.
And I'm going to say just because I think people like the relaxation of neutrals, but I think with that it just looks so stale and boring. And I think we've moved on from that. It's not 2015 anymore. Like we're past that.
Definitely. Yeah. These spaces that we're looking at right now on the screen, this is a Washington, D.C. office or library for him. Actually, they both use this space and it's lacquered this really great red tone. It's almost like a cross between, it's like a cranberry almost. It's really got a lot of depth in it. And a marble mantle, this fractured looking mirror, and a needlepoint little pillow. Lucite just glows in this space. It has been a rock star of a thing, one of our favorite projects, I think, to date. And a client just really willing to go for it. Again, in the beginning of their project, they went a little bit more neutral, didn't take as many risks. And then once they saw the space, they kept getting more and more daring. So you might find that in your project or in your own home, that as you've taken a risk and you're like, ooh, that actually feels really good. I feel my personal style. I feel like an individual in my house. Then the next space, you're going to just like crank up the volume a little bit more because you felt that as you come. And we can feel that as we look through the portfolio images from where her journey started to where her journey ended. And this was where it ended in this room. And we just love that we won the trust to be able to really go for it. And if this room were painted neutral, it wouldn't be as interesting or jaw-dropping as it is in this. It's a scene, it's almost theatrical.
And
it's so great.
It feels timeless because it's all in. It's super intentional. I think intention creates timelessness. I really do.
I love that.
Again, Rachel Parcells Library. I think, again, this is probably, we did this in 2000. Gosh, when was this? 16, 17?
Yeah.
Anyway, when like these saturated colors were starting to like hit the pocket, and I think it's been a fan favorite ever since. Again, it's a full color drench in this peacock inky color. And again, it's off of some like relatively neutral spaces for the public area, but like people against moth to a flame, man. Like you just look into there. Yeah. And there is this like sense of history with this depth. Then like that history, I think that historic nature does make it feel timeless, so like this whole idea of neutrals being the only safe way to go is like, it's absolutely wrong. Oh my gosh. What are we looking at now, Jessica Bennett?
Well, this is not professional photography, but this is my living room that I just recently painted. You guys remember that episode? This was a neutral space with sort of a bronze grass cloth, white casings, white mantle, white trim. And I just decided this year that I was sick of myself, and we went ahead and lacquered the entire room high gloss, the grass cloth, along with casings, along with the wood windows, which I felt was so crazy. Base, case, everything. And I feel like I've been reborn just getting to live in color. It makes my day to walk in the front door and to look left and go, oh my gosh, wow, that is so exciting and fun and a mood. And you want to invite people in to just sit down and hang out because it's fun to be in. It was beautiful before as a neutral, but now it just feels like I'm living, you know? So yeah, I think since we're on that topic of neutrals to color, this has been transformative. Yeah. And the ceiling in this space is this high gloss peach tone, which has been really fun to sort of color block with some of the furniture. And I've played with different pillows and I really have a crush in my house. It's been so fun. I feel like I'm alive again.
Oh, I love that so much.
And Sue, in your little
camper bath. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, you're not living in a white bath to make this feel bigger.
No, I'm not. And the neutral, and actually the bedroom that it's off of is neutral. It's reticence that we did in Tiger Oak Century.
Oh, it's like tissue
It's kind of like tissue pink, which I'm like, oh, I'll just do that for me. I've done color for all the other bedrooms. I'm so bored by my bedroom, especially when I get to look into here and feel that green. I just can't wait to go in there in the morning because I love the way I feel in that space. Yeah, it's so much more interesting.
Suze, before we started recording, you were telling me about your bubble cuddle blanket from Cozy Earth. Let's tell the people about it.
Okay, I want to shout it from the rooftops. I love this thing so much. The bubble cuddle blanket is the best faux fur blanket out there. I know because my family all has versions of all the other ones and they look like flat tires, but the bubble cuddle has a structured grid that's quilted on the front and the back. And it is so soft. And I don't mind having it out on my sofa with all my other beautiful curated things because it's that lovely. And I say it is cozier than all the others. So I love my bubble cuddle.
So if you want to get a bubble cuddle blanket or any of the amazing products that Cozy Earth offers, head to cozyearth.com and use our code DearAlice for up to 20% off. That's cozyearth.com, code DearAlice. And if you get a post-purchase survey, make sure to let them know you heard about Cozy Earth right here. Because home isn't just where you live, it's how you feel. Let's go home with Cozy Earth. Okay, design myth number 5. Mirrors only belong in bathrooms or entryways.
False. Lies. Yeah, we love a mirror. This is, on screen right now, those of you that aren't watching,
mic drop.
This is the ultimate mirror trick. This is Tan France's closet. We did in his last home. He had an attic space that he wanted us to transform into a closet. So, you can see all of the angles and pitches and things that we needed to overcome. And mirrors absolutely doubled the size of this space, not physically, but visually. And it's like a magic trick walking up here. And it feels like a tented ceiling because we wrapped stripes around every single pitch and eave up here. And reflecting back in itself is just like the most magical green stripe tented room in all the land. Just even coming in at the ground level and then stretching up to the second story, the whole journey is so fantastic because we used mirrors and because we used stripes. And also we only had just a tiny little window at each end of this thing. The window is probably 14 inches wide. So it's bouncing daylight around in here for us also. So talk about smoke and mirrors in this room. That was absolutely transformative. We also love a mirror above a mantle. You can see this on your screen. This is also a feng shui practice that we don't necessarily practice that in our firm or know a ton about it, but there's a rule that with an opening in your home, like a fireplace, so the energy can go out. And so to balance the energy and bring it back in, you put a mirror above the mantle. So here we've got a mirror above the mantle. We love a mirror above a mantle. We probably do it 97% of the time. Yeah. So I love this practice. Again, it bounces the light around. It reflects. You can see the beautiful staircase reflected back in this mirror.
Basically, it's a much less expensive window that you're putting in a room.
Totally.
That is the rule of mirrors.
This is one of my favorite tricks that I've seen more often lately is the mirror above the nightstand next to the bed.
Again, you're going to reflect light. You're going to reflect the room back in itself. These are antique mirrors in our Coastal Contemporary project, and they're the full width of the nightstand. And then it also reflects that lamp back in itself. It fills up the entire wall with the headboard, and the whole thing just feels so grand. Such a good trick to do a mirror above the nightstand. Yep. We love using our Phoenix mirrors above the nightstand. So the clear Phoenix mirror. We've been doing that in a project. In fact, I was just meeting with a team because we're getting ready to transform the floor into holiday. And they were going to use the Phoenix mirrors in 6 different vignettes. And I was like, you guys, I know it's the best trick in the whole world. Like 2 above a nightstand, the small ones. They've got a big and little presentation going vertically above another place. We've got 2 above French chests. They are so amazing. So if you haven't checked out the Phoenix mirror, that's a really great designer trick for above the nightstand. It's ready to go and ready to ship. And you don't have to do any measuring or get glass cut or anything like that. So anyway, that's the primary bedroom in the Coastal Contemporary. And then in the living room, we had screen made out of mirror, folded back on itself, reflecting the room and just creating a little bit of magic in the corner, which I think is such a good trick in a corner.
Good.
Yeah, you guys, you can use mirrors in so many places. Yep. Yeah.
The next myth is follow trends to stay current.
I think so. Well, follow trends to stay current.
You
want to fight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you go.
I think, don't get me wrong, I actually love a trend and I'll participate in it. But I will do it the way that I like it.
Yes.
The problem I think with investing big into a trend is that at some point it will go by and you will still be stuck with what you have there.
Yeah. And we've all experienced that long. I mean, we've lived long enough. You guys have lived long enough. You've seen that happen. But I do think that there is something about what's happening in the zeitgeist, in the atmosphere, on the runway, where we are tuning in. All of us love design. That's why we're listening to this podcast right now, and why we're sitting down to do it is because we love design, and design holds hands with fashion and so many other elements, right? So it is fun to see what percolates up because there's evidence of history in so many of the trends. I know one of the things that's happening right now is I'm seeing women tie a scarf around their waist and make sort of a triangle shape. I did that in middle school and I'm like, I could never do it again. I can't do it this time, but I love seeing people do it. And I kind of want to see my daughters do it, which is so fun. But we all see these little bits bubbling up from our past and maybe we loved it, or maybe it feels historical. Like on the screen right now, we're showing you sort of some of the biggest runway trends that were happening. And you've got this very Chanel Jackie O look on one end of the spectrum. And on the other end, it almost feels streetwear with this great plaid, kind of almost like a fringed
window paint eyelash situation.
Yes, it's so good. There's something for everyone on here. Even like the Terry tracksuit, right? In Periwinkle. So what we're trying to show you is there's a big, huge spectrum for anybody to play in for your personal style. There's different colors that are popping up and bubbling up in different silhouettes. Maybe you're a belt person, maybe you're not, but it's fun that belts are back.
Yeah.
So it's fun to see different color combinations, you know?
I was going to say, to your point, like, I think you look at trends just like to stay. It's like proof of life. I don't know. For me, when I look at trends or when I look at runway or buy a Vogue, like at the airport, like I'll usually be going through that on an airplane just because it's so fun for me. Or like see like, I don't know, clips on TikTok about different designers and how they're developing or what was the inspiration. I find that fascinating just as a creator and a designer. I'm just like, that's so relative to home and the space that we create in. So I'm like, or if everyone occupies a space, everyone dresses themselves, like we're not going to stay in one decade for a long time. You're going to be inspired and you're going to implement things that make sense for you. I'm like, I love this image because you do have such a broad range that I'm like, anybody can find like one little piece of one something on here to be like, I love that. And that's going to freshen up what you're currently doing. Cause I'm like, you could say, I have a leopard skirt and I love the way that she paired that kind of crop jacket with that brown. And I want to try that, you know? And again, it's just like getting a new something in your wardrobe or getting a new piece in your house. And it just kind of like makes everything look new.
Livens it. Yeah.
It makes everything look new. It's just like one little thing and one fresh take on it. That's why I'm like, I think trends, if you look at it through your own personal lens and say, what is something that I can pull into my house that's going to make me feel alive? That's why we follow a trend. Again, like investing wholeheartedly into one thing that you're just like, you feel mediocre about or something that your designer's stoked about. That's not a cool move. Not a cool move. But if you feel emotional about it and it's something like at whatever level of investment you want to dive into that, then I think it's super cool. I love it. I love a trend.
Well said.
Micro trends, be cautious.
Yeah.
Those turn, but if you find things that are relative to you, do it. I love it.
Jump in.
my gosh, I agreed with one of them.
The next design myth is number 7. You can't mix wood tones or metal finishes.
False.
No. False.
I'm going to say it's kind of hard to mix wood tones and metal finishes. I think there's an art to it.
Yeah.
And you have to have that skill. But I definitely think it can be done. And I mean, yeah, I think when every metal finish is matching, that feels a little too like, yeah, phoned in.
Feels like a kit of parts.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's show a few spaces here. This is a project that we recently installed called Desert Oaks in Odessa. And you can see from the front door being this beautiful, actually this is the primary door. Yeah, being this really beautiful aged brass. This handset is so stunning. And you can feel the wood tone. Both are oak. The floor is lighter. And we had a question come in the other day where somebody said, if I'm going to do a stain grade kitchen, what do I do on my floor versus what stain do I do up top? And we're usually always going to say, go lighter on the floor. It's going to be more forgiving. It's not going to show all the dust, the scratches, everything standing off of it like a black car. The deeper you go on that floor, the more unforgiving. So you're going to go lighter on the floor, still a medium tone, and then you can go darker stain. So in the image on the screen, this is the Desert Oaks home going from the primary bedroom into the main living space.
We're also installing in here, so it's like kind of messy, but it just was a good example of just like showing lighter floor that has some interest in it so that you have the flexibility of pulling out a darker grain. And to your point, like there is a science to it. Like I don't think anything goes together. You can't say all wood should be like paired together. There is a science,
it's not happenstance.
But as far as just like lightness to dark, different values of wood, I think I think it's good to mix them. I think that adds a lot of variety. Same thing with metals.
Yep.
We love a mixed metal story, you know.
Because oftentimes I think when you're mixing like the wood species too, or like if you're taking the same wood species and like staining it darker, that's going to bring more out of it. So I think like you said, it's a hard thing to do, but definitely can be done.
But you can study it. I will say with mixing metals, mixing brasses is where people like get things real. There's nothing more offensive to my eye than seeing like 3 different brasses that were not considered together.
Or it's actually
one's orange, one's yellow, one's fake, one's
one
real.
is like the shiny gold, like cheap jewelry, and then there's like maybe something where the brass is actually right, but they don't play together, and so it's just kind of a miss.
Like a gold sconce with a gold mirrored frame or something like in a bathroom, and they're not like speaking to each other. I'm just like, I'd rather one be bronze and one be brass, or one be nickel and one be brass. Anyway, so you have to be careful with gold specifically. Polished nickel is such an easy one to pair with everything because polished nickel is polished nickel from line to line to line.
This is a great example of mixing metals. We've got a beautiful polished nickel tub. And this is Rachel Parcell's bathroom. And then you can see we've got brass hardware for the draperies. We've got brass for the sconces. We've got an antique mirror above her makeup vanity with a beautiful brass mirror for her to get ready in. So you can see the play on the nickel and the brass. And it's so much more handsome and varied than if every single thing in here was gold.
Yeah, it almost just makes the tub, it lets it be itself.
Yeah.
You know, it's not.
It allows something to feel clean too. I think when it gets if everything was gold, it would start to feel too hot, and you kind of need some temperature balance on this one. So I love that.
I know this is this might be controversial to say, but I really feel like your plumbing and your appliances, I just really like those to be polished nickel. They feel everlasting. We know brass and golds and all of that are going to come and go, but there's just something about an appliance that feels like, if you're not going to do cabinet front, that feels like it should be stainless steel. And I really like it when the faucet is too. I really, and like also, do you know what I don't like? I do not like gold silverware. A fake gold
She said
silverware.
it here, everyone.
It makes me mad when I see that people went for it there. I'm like, you're going to regret that in 4 more years.
Yeah.
And I feel like that about the faucet. In certain powder baths in certain areas, aged brass is really, really pretty. But I think it's safe if you're trying to decide where to take your risk. Those things are so permanent and they're expensive. If you do the good one, like if you're really going to go for the good one, but usually they don't, and then the brass is wrong. Yeah. It's easier to get it wrong on the gold, like Sue said. And so I love here that her tub is this beautiful polished nickel and has a beautiful polished nickel feel. It feels like it could be around from any era, any decade. It's always going to be gorgeous. And that we just went with the decorative pieces for the brass, but not the plumbing.
Yep.
Amen.
Agreed.
Amen. Okay, this is just another example on the screen of like in kitchens. You see, I feel like kitchens, bathrooms, you see the mixed metal trick, the most obvious that we do, where again, your faucets, like those fixtures, plumbing things that do, or something that it's not necessarily the jewelry, it's the utility. That and the polished nickel makes a lot of good sense for our eyeballs. But then the decoration is in the gold, the light, the hardware, occasionally. Sometimes we'll do the hardware and polished nickel also, depending on the client. But this is where you do see that play of like utility meets jewelry. And that's when you feel the mixed metals the very, very most.
Design myth number 8, function should always come before form.
I mean,
I think so.
Guys, I'm embarrassed to say, but I really enjoy watching the Kardashians from time to time. Yep. It's really fun and funny. So Kim was getting dressed for the Met Gala, and she was wearing this outfit. You guys remember, like
a picture of that.
Her waist was so pinched in. I don't know if she had ribs removed or how she did this. And then the bottom of her dress arcuated down and then cinched around her ankles. So she had to take the teeny tiniest little baby steps. She had to ride in a van standing up to get to their location. They had to help get her out. And then just even walk up the stairs. Oh my gosh, if we could see a video of her trying to walk up the stairs.
Cute video, right? Let's put it on there.
But I remember her saying, I will do anything for a look. For her, form came way before function. The girl could barely even walk. But I was like, man, I'm too practical for that. Like, I think for us, we're always going to find the most beautiful vantage point. We're going to find the most beautiful way to show your home. So there's going to be form in it, but we are going to pay attention to how this thing functions. We have to be good at our job. We have to do that, but we do have to consider, how's it going to look? How do we get the best look to still have it function? The function's always going to be in our mind. We're always going to be solving for that in our CAD drawings like a puzzle. We're just going after it, because if it can be smart and gorgeous, then you win.
Yep.
I love that you said that. Yeah. I'm like, we're considering both all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. So
the last one.
This is the one we've been waiting for.
Yes. Yeah, this is it. Interior design is only for the wealthy.
False. Interior design is for everyone. We all have personal style. We all get dressed in the morning. And it doesn't mean that you have to hire an interior designer. It just means that you've got to go on a discovery to figure out who you are and really play it out. Talk to the people around you that know you, that take risks, or that you really trust their taste level, and weigh and balance this out for it. I was just on a trip antiquing with some girlfriends, and they're both designers and artists. And one of the designers, she said, yeah, my friend said, I want you to help me with my kitchen. And she said, I told her I was going to help her for free. Like, I didn't want her to hire me as her designer, but just weigh and balance things off of me. I'm working on other projects, but I'm here for you, like as a phone a friend option, as a lifeline. And we all have someone like that in our life that has great taste, and we really trust them, and they've made decisions in their home that are great. So you can always have a friend like that in your sphere. It doesn't mean you have to hire an interior designer. If you are so lucky to get to hire a designer, then certainly do one that you can really trust, because they're going to pull that story out of you and do a fantastic job. But I think anybody can live beautifully. You don't have to be wealthy.
Agreed.
But I feel like to that point, we all have space. We all occupy space, and interior design is important for everyone. And I feel bad when people are just like, yeah, that's not my thing. And I'm just like, but you live in a home. So I'm just like, any decision that you make that you put money towards, like, should be considered. And so that would be the thing that I would just want people to really think about before they invest in something, is like, is it the best option? Does it feel like me? Because interior design, at whatever price point you're at, we've all lived in apartments. We've all lived in rentals. We've all lived in those things. And just by like being curious and being thoughtful how we arrange our furniture, where we put our art, what our focus is on, it's important. Environment is important. That's why it's so emotional when people move. For kids, that's why it's emotional when they move out of their space, because they've invested and poured themselves into a space that feels like them. So I'm just like, on all levels, for our brains, for our hearts, for everything, interior design is for everybody at whatever price point you are. And it can be attained. It really can be attained at whatever level you're at. Thrifting's in, y'all. Like, high five to that.
Sue Hall put up a beaded curtain over her doorway when she was a teenager.
Betcha.
You interior designed that first thing and burned incense. And Corey Place, you painted your nightstands chrome.
Yeah.
When you were in middle school or or high school. Yeah.
It's
You
part
had a
of the
vision.
discovery.
You had a vision for your life. Yeah. And you're going to live it out to its fullest.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a marathon too. And I think that's
is.
one thing that I've really just been trying. You know, everyone wants everything to be perfect right now. You know, I want my home exactly the way I want it. And sometimes that's just not reality. I think, you know, having wealth can get you to that like finish line quicker, definitely. But part of that marathon is like the journey with it and discovering who you are and what, you know, makes you feel at home.
Totally.
And I mean, I've just been trying to embrace that and love that part of the journey, you know, and trying different things.
The marathon is the most soulful.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. Great quote.
We have a friend that has the most extraordinary home here in Utah. And anyway, the home was finished. The interior designer completed it. We had the opportunity to walk through it, and it was a masterpiece. And we were even like, this is so fantastic. I need to meet the homeowner. I want to hear his story. And he happened to be in advertising. And I spent my first part of my career in advertising. So it was a thrill. We got to go to dinner with him. And anyway, you know, it's been years and years since his home's been completed. And we ran into the interior designer recently, and she said, boy, he has really gilded the lily. Like, he cannot stop, because what she started for him and completed for him was gorgeous. But it is a marathon. Like, once you feel and you see the vision of something coming together, he continues to buy things for it and wants to keep doing things and doing things and doing things, because your home is never done. And maybe your lily is over gilded, but that's okay. It's your personal style, and he's caught the vision. And I just love that story so much, that like he finally like really grasped this thing, and now he's obsessed with it.
Boy, do his walls talk.
Yeah.
That's the power of an interior. Your walls
so
start
powerful.
to talk.
Yeah.
And it's really, really powerful.
I know. I kind of want to go see what it looks like today. Yeah, so fun.
Anyway,
Anyway, guys, thanks so much for tuning in to have us debunk these design myths. That was really fun.
I know.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again. If you guys have any myths, send those to Dear Alice at alicelanehome.com. We'd love to talk about them here, or any episode ideas. And remember to leave us a review or comment. Recommend the show to your friends. That helps us grow.
It gives us life.
Definitely. And remember to check out the new heirloom collection on alicelanehome.com. Get yourself an heirloom. This is a really fun season for that. And we're going to catch you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, thanks for listening. If you like our show, please leave a 5-star rating.